Welcome back to My Life on a GLP-1, the podcast where we talk about the real lived experiences of this amazing class of medications. For those that don't know me, I'm Sarah.
And I'm your host, Scott Johnson. Nice to let you lead for a change, Sarah.
Scott, you've been on this journey for about 3 years now. We've talked about the beginnings, but what does it look like long term? I think people assume it's all about what the scale says.
That's what I assume too. But the moments that really define this journey for me have had almost nothing to do with the scale. Today, we are talking about all the joy associated with being on this long term. The biggest one, my real aha moment, happened 30,000 feet in the air.
On an airplane? Do tell.
Yeah. So I was getting on a flight and I walked down the aisle, found my seat, sat down, and buckled the seatbelt. And then it hit me.
What hit you?
Nothing. That was the point. For the first time in my adult life, I hadn't thought about it. I didn't worry if I'd fit. I didn't have to discreetly ask for a seatbelt extender. I didn't sit there, heart pounding, hoping the person next to me wasn't silently cursing their luck. I just sat down. The seatbelt clicked and there was slack. The absence of all that anxiety was deafening.
Wow, that's powerful. The absence of a feeling.
Exactly. And it ties into food noise, which we discuss over and over.
Right, what does it actually feel like? And why is this joyful?
It's like having a radio in your head that's always on, and it only plays one station, Food FM. It's a constant narration. What are you going to eat for lunch? You shouldn't have eaten that donut. Maybe you should have a salad, but you really want a burger. How many calories were in that? It's an exhausting, non-stop negotiation.
That sounds incredibly draining.
It is. And then one day, with this medication, someone just turns the radio off. The silence is profound. All that mental real estate is suddenly free. It's not about willpower. It's about the noise just being gone. Another thing of pure joy.
So with that mental space freed up, what else changes? Does it affect how you just exist in the world?
Oh, 100%. Think about going to a restaurant. For years, my first thought wasn't about the menu. It was a rapid calculation. Will I fit in that booth, or should I ask for a table with chairs?
A mental geometry for every public space.
Exactly. Movie theaters, amusement park rides, turnstiles at the subway, everything required a strategy, a pre-planned route to avoid potential embarrassment. Now I just go. I sit down, I move through the world without that constant strategic overlay. It's a joyful freedom I didn't even realize I was missing until it was gone.
Mm-hmm. And does that extend to the social part of eating?
Massively. Social eating is genuinely enjoyable again. Before, there was always a part of my brain that felt watched, judged. I was so self-conscious about what I was eating. Now, I can just be present with my friends. The focus is on the company and the conversation, not a battle on my plate.
We've talked a lot about the mental and social shifts. What about the physical side of things like energy levels?
That was a much more gradual change. It wasn't like I woke up one day and felt like running a marathon. It was subtler.
Okay. Let's be real. Do we ever really want to run, much less a marathon?
True. I still hate running. But really, it was realizing at the end of a long day of walking that my back didn't ache. It was choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator without even thinking about it. It was no longer feeling completely wiped out by 3 p.m. It's a slow, surprising return of just feeling capable in my own body.
It sounds like these small moments of capability add up to a huge change in quality of life.
They really do. And maybe the biggest example of that is shopping for clothes.
Oh, I can only imagine.
For years, it was a demoralizing chore. You go to one specific section in the back of the store, and your only goal is to find something, anything that fits. You don't get to think about style or color. The goal is just coverage.
Right. It's a mission of utility, not joy.
Exactly. And the first time I walked into a regular store, picked a shirt off a rack simply because I liked it, tried it on, and it fit, it was surprisingly emotional. It's not about vanity. It's about access. It's the freedom of choice that so many people take for granted.
So much of what you're describing. The anxiety, the strategic planning, the lack of choice. It sounds like the lifting of a weight that isn't just physical.
That's the absolute core of it. There was a constant low-level background shame that I carried everywhere, a feeling of taking up too much space, of being an inconvenience, of apologizing for my own existence, and slowly, quietly, that has just faded.
Wow, I love hearing this. That must be the biggest change of all.
It is. And if there's one thing I want people to understand about this journey, it's that. After 3 years, yes, the number on the scale is different. But honestly, that's the least interesting part of the whole story.
It's just a side effect, really.
It's a side effect. The real fundamental change is that life just feels less heavy. The mental burden, the emotional weight, the physical strain, it's all lighter. I'm just lighter.
In every sense of the word. Scott, that's a beautiful way to put it. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
My pleasure, Sarah. When I started down this journey, I didn't anticipate one of the greatest gifts, the amazing people I would be meeting. My health was something I kept private, yet something changed at about month 6.
Well, I love this. Am I one of those amazing people?
You are. I mean, our paths would have never crossed without this. I have met hundreds of people who have progressed through a similar path. The real joy in meeting new friends, and I am talking about friends all over the world, has helped me in more ways than anyone can imagine. I have rediscovered the joy in genuine and honest connections with new people.
And that is the most joyful and powerful message of all. So, for each of you listening, we simply can't express how thankful we are that you listen in week after week. Sometimes we talk about side effects and things can get gloomy, but it's the joys we all rediscover on this journey that are the most powerful. I hope you will all take a moment and leave us a 5-star review wherever you stream. Leave us a comment that includes the word joy too, so we know that you feel seen. Tell us, Scott, what else do you want to highlight on this uplifting subject today?
Thanks, Sarah. If someone asked me right now what the biggest change after 3 years on a GLP-1 has been, I would not say a number. I would not point to a before photo. It's joy. That is the part of this story that does not make it onto the highlight reel. The magazine covers and the morning show segments show the dramatic transformation photos, and those are real and they matter. But the deeper, stranger, more personal joy is this quieter thing. The version of yourself that was always there, just buried under a lot of noise, getting a little more room to actually live. So, on behalf of Sarah, I'm Scott Johnson. Thanks for being here with us. Take it from someone 3 years in that the joy you discover is still the most remarkable part. Stay safe, stay positive, and always remember to love your journey.